If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
So I
Yes,
have a quick question. So are you familiar with the SAP HCM?
HCM, yes. Couple of objects that, yes.
Okay. I mean, if you're like trying to provide me like any kind of example, can you just tell
So,
something in difference with the SAP HCM integration?
so you are saying there is some example from HCM module in BRF
Yes,
Plus. So you can
yes,
easily
yes,
correlate that how we can leverage BRF into HCM module, right?
yes, right.
Okay, okay, yes. Definitely
Okay.
we will do that. So let's get started our today's topic. The mostly it would be theoretical for the day. How
Okay.
deep understanding of how exactly BRF works. What's
Okay.
the main component that exactly executes in the backend? Okay,
Okay.
and from tomorrow onwards, we'll start our actual workbench also, the
Yeah, sure.
object, the actual technical object.
Okay.
Okay, I'll share couple of examples. Let's take an example in reimbursement process of an employee. Reimbursement like expenses that if an employee is traveling to on-site location to client location, and he and she had made some expenses. So after submitting the bills on all the expenses report to the manager, so based on the amount, the expense report will go for the certain level of approval. Correct? So
Yes.
let's say there's a limit of 20,000 or 50,000 rupees. The manager can approve that. If amount is more than 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees, then then BU head or IBU head would be the approval is required. And if amount is more than 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees, then CFO would be required for the approval. Correct?
Yes.
But the thing is, these all things we can define these things in workflow as well. We can make them hard coded. But the thing is, your IBU head and CFOs are frequently getting changed because they are not taking the decisions, because they are the highest level managers in the organization. So they are not taking their decisions actually in the real life. They are forwarding the items to their subordinates, so they are taking actions on behalf of them.
Okay.
Okay, or you can say that their assistant or you can say the subordinates, their junior team members, they are working on these type of requests on behalf of them. Okay, so
Okay.
and for this type of agent determination, on the fly agent determination for the workflow, because we are never know that how could workflow will interact, how will workflow will behave when item will generate, item will go for the approvals. So in BRF Plus we can integrate our agent determination with workflow. Okay, and we can change our agents dynamically. Okay, even even your item has been generated and it's already available into the agent inbox, so we can change the data indirectly into the production system with the help of BRF Plus application, and we can just re-trigger the application, re-trigger the work item of workflow, and it will automatically redirect to the respective person.
Okay.
Okay, so earlier what happened earlier, we do have a transaction as WIA, which is workflow administrator transaction. So whenever the request will came us to change the agent, we have to manually start the technical changes into the backend transaction level as an administrator. Then we will manually move that item to the agent, and there is no such track also because we are doing from the admin level. So it can't be easy to track that who had done that changes and who had moved the item from one user to another user.
Okay.
Okay, so now another examples also, like you can say that authorization. like ESS and MSS access.
Okay.
Who should be able to get the ESS and MSS access? Who should not be able to get those particular access? What would happen if manager got change? What would be the what would happen if manager is leaving his job, and who would be the next person, upcoming person? So automatically your current manager access authorizations and roles and objects will get assigned to the upcoming of manager.
Okay.
Though this is one of the biggest application in SAP used to we develop that, but with the help of BRF Plus application, we can predict that, okay, it could be the possible, it could be the scenario that this could be the right person or this could not be the right person.
Okay.
So we can predict, we can with the help of decision tree, we'll discuss that what is decision tree. With the help of that, we can easily predict that what could be the upcoming correct value, and we can take decision on top of that.
Okay.
Okay. So agenda for the today is some of the business rules. BRF Plus, the already BRF Plus, we are aware that what exactly is BRF Plus. Some minor concept details, workbench interaction, examples. Those examples are standard examples. Okay, like score calculation, cricket score calculation, or risk score calculation, like that, and some technical components.
Okay.
Now, what exactly runs behind the BRF Plus application? So BRF Plus is a combination of multiple rules. There's a combination of rules. Your rules will get executed into a business application, BRF Plus application. Okay.
Okay.
Now, multiple type of rules that will be categorized by the business. But these are the typical, that at least those can be the rules for the company. So some of them we had captured here for our learning purpose. Okay, like validation rules. Some of the validation rules by the company, like claim validation, loan application validation. So whenever we apply for the loan application, our CIBIL score is the most important validation. Correct? It should be more. It should be more than 750. Otherwise, you will not able to get the loan.
Okay.
Oh, rate calculation rules. Rate calculation rules are specific for the hardcore mathematical calculations, like tax rates, commissions, premiums, bonus, and duties, surcharges. Those type of rate calculations. Decision-based rules. Decision-based rules. Are you the correct person to take the decision, or you are not the correct person to take the decision? You are eligible for the product, or you are not eligible for the product. So that kind of decisions that we can generate rules on that, and we can take our decisions. Recommendation based rules. Marketing promotions, medical recommendations on online product choosers. Medical recommendations like that, if I am going to one doctor for regular treatment, on some till the time he was working, he was able to treat us, he was able to guide us perfectly fine. But after some time, he was not able to do that. He continued his practice. So he had recommended someone else. So what could be the scenario that he could recommend us to reach out to the another person? Marketing promotions. Till now we are using one type of product, one type of mobile, but after some promotions we can see, we can able to reevaluate that there's a new product into the market also, and we can at least we can give it a try for another products as well. So that kind of recommendation rules also will work good, but works into the organization. Same goes for personalization, internationalization, localization rules, exception and special rules, optimization and configuration rules. There it could be the chance there are another thousand of varieties also of validation rules in the real market. But the thing is how we can implement those rules into our application.
Okay.
Okay. That's why BRF Plus would come into the picture. The biggest reason SAP had implemented this they had come up with this certain type of object was NACE transaction was also there, correct, for output management. For pricing of the sales order and pricing procedure of the material management, if, the tax calculation of finance, pricing of sales and distribution was always there. They have to reduce the dependency of end users from the backend team. So what exactly is happening? Every time end users will come into the picture that they have to reach out to the backend team. They have to request to the backend functional consultants. They will make the changes. Then they will do the testing. They will come up back to us, and then we have to resume our business process. Even for the small validations, for the small change. That's how everything will get work. So they need some kind of flexibility that rather than reaching out to functional backend IT team, we can directly change some of the business rules or policies directly into the system, and we can directly in the production system, and we can run business at any given period of time. That was the main aim to design this BRF Plus object. Now, how your rules will get, how rules are working. Rules are basically our conditions. Either this or could be this. If or else. Are you getting my point? Either if you are agree, oh, then it's okay. Then you could be the next. If your promotion is due, if you are eligible, then you could be the next manager. Else you are not eligible, then you have to wait for the next 1 year. Those are the combination of your if and else if conditions.
Okay.
Okay. Apart from baseline is if and else if. Apart from that, we do have another expressions also, like decision tables. In decision tables, we will maintain a certain set of combination in certain set of columns. Those columns would define as the input of your rules, and one of the column would be your output column.
Okay.
So if criteria will get match on those initial columns, you will directly get the output value.
Okay.
Same goes for the decision trees. Decision tree is like hierarchy. If you see the tree, how will you start? How your tree will start? Can you imagine a tree, real-time tree? So what will be the starting point of a tree?
Yeah, the roots, trunk.
Roots, trunk, then branches, then sub-branches and leaves.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Then you will reach out to the one by one leaf.
Yes.
And then on the leaf, you will get the last and flower, and after that you will get the fruit. Correct?
Yes.
That would be your last product. Fruit would be your last product.
Yes.
So for that, you have to start from root, trunk, main branch, or you can say the branch, main branch, sub branch, your leaves, flower, and fruit. So 6, 7, 8 steps that you have completed to reach out to your one decision.
Okay.
If your decision got failed, if you didn't get any fruit, what would be the chances? Either you can go back to the another leaf, one. Either you can go back to the sub branch, 2 chances. Either you can go back to the main branch, 3 chances. But you cannot go back to the trunk. Your trunk is only one. Correct? Sub branches are multiple. So there is a limitation of your rules, of your calculation. But you can track your end product and you can end result with n number of sets. That's how your tree works, and that's how our end result business rule will get work.
Okay.
Formula means simple calculation, like a1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. We will generate the formulas into the business rule. All the mathematical calculation, you can think about the most complex formula, and that formula we will implement into the business rule. Or those formulas, and you can imagine that you can see those formulas are not able, as an ABAP developer, I had seen that multiple times. Same formula we cannot implement into the ABAP code, and same formula will get applicable into the BRF Plus, and it is working fine. Okay, that happens multiple times. How we are enforcing our business rules into our system, and conventional, not now, no, nowadays. Little bit of BRF Plus is not fully automated scenario, but it helps us to convert most of the scenarios in some of the semi-automation, or you can say the some of the automated part. I would not say 100%, but yes, most of the things have been changed to the automated part. Okay, as you can see into the image, automated enforcement and semi-automation. Okay, rules inside databases, and triggers. All these rules, n number of rules, are available into a n number of rules are available in BRF Plus applications. Those applications are available at your DB level. Obviously, it's a database object, a technical object. It should be available into the database, and data is also available. Our database procedures. So directly you will fetch the data and trigger the data and execute rules for us. How your rules will get executed at the backend system? All the rules are executing in some kind of conditional level, like if condition. They have mentioned some specific conditions in the backend. Everything is getting executed in some conditions. The rules is about condition. Either it could be if, either it could be decision tree, either it could be decision table, it could be formula, it could be your mathematical calculation. Everything is about condition. In semi-automation, so our business analysts, our experts, or you can say our end users, were completely dependent on some documentation, means policy documentation. Those policies are not converted into the system. Those are paper-based policies. So they have to follow that. Or in some conditions, some organizations, they had converted those policies into the code as well with the help of ABAP developer teams, but those are still not fully automated. So mostly they need to be dependent onto the paper-based approvals or paper-based rule management system. Typically, challenges were faced by the different type of customers. Why they will come up with the BRF Plus technology with zero visibility into business decisions. Organizations, as said by as initially we had discussed, the SWIA, workflow administration transaction. So as a workflow administrator in production system, I can change all the work items from one user to another user, and no one is able to find out, because there is no log system generated log files, and you will even never realize that who had worked upon my workflow items. Why my items are not available into my inbox? I have to supposed to take the decision. I have to approve certain leaves. I have to approve certain items, but my items are not available in my inbox because I have removed your inbox items and assigned to the another one. You cannot see, you cannot track them. That's how the business decisions. So no, there is no visibility into the business decisions. Let's take an example. Because decisions are made on the paper and pen, those are not related with the system. System has no idea what is business rule. So if system has no idea about your business rule and you are working on behalf of some piece of paper, then you can manipulate the decisions, right? So it could be human error also, or it can be intentional also. And if policy says that an employee should be completed 6 months probation period into the company, Only then he or she would become the permanent employee. But as in favor, I had changed his date of joinings, or you can say the probation date, and make him 100% permanent employee. So it's an intentional thing that I had done. Just an example. Change resistance in IT systems. Change resistance means systems are becoming after 2015. You have even you have realized that in 2000, somewhere nearby 2013 and 2015, most of the organizations have changed their business time. They are by the cloud has come in. The cloud has played an intense role into the IT landscapes. Where till the time AWS has come, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, they had introduced their new technologies into the market. They had come up with the large infrastructure deployments. So organization had also decided to increase their reachabilities. Even if we talk about the SAP, in 2015 they come up with the HANA, right? And 2004, 2000 and starting of 2016 they come up with the HANA and S4 HANA on cloud and on premise also. Correct?
Yeah.
So they are trying, organizations itself, they are trying to reach out, they increase the reachability to the market. And SAP is one of the best example, if I say that, because it's a completely restricted product from the world. Correct? It's hard to interact. Non-SAP world, it's hard to interact with the SAP system and start with the to and from motion. But nowadays, if I see that BTP is coming to the picture, our cloud is coming to the picture, we directly create one single API and we can directly start working to and from motion of data from SAP to non-SAP world. With one service, in 10 to 15 minutes, I can create one service and I can start dealing the data from SAP S4HANA. But earlier it was not it was not there. We have to create PIPO services. We have to generate the services. We have to consume the services. Then some other non-SAP technology will consume that service. But nowadays, within 10 minutes, I can create an API and consume into my portal. So the expertise they have increased their reachability. Insufficient and costly human efforts. And the costly human experts. Sometimes what happened, I had seen in my personal experience, users, they know that how to run the business. They are well trained upon that. I no issue, no doubt on that. But sometimes what happens, let's say new joinings will come into the picture, new candidates. They are not well versed about the business process. So what could be the scenario if someone has done some process and someone about to run a process and he or she is not aware about the complexity of the business process, and somehow they had started that or somehow they had completed that, and because of that company had faces the loss of amount or loss of employees or loss of cyber security, data integrity, our security or data breach, it could be anything. So we, rather than completely dependent on the end users, the system needs to be verified from their side also before making the human decisions.
Okay.
So not 100% dependent on the humans. That's why the technology is coming into the picture. Knowledge is this is the biggest challenge I had faced personally also. I was working with one of the company, okay, with we were implementing PeopleSoft to S4HANA, and we do have we have to implement 49 WebIntro applications, hire to fire process. And you can say that hiring of an employee, non-solicitation of an employee, non-disclosure agreement, all these agreements, documents, the single application needs to be generated. Now there is only one person in the entire company from the HR department. He knows all the processes from 0 to 100%. Only one person.
Okay.
And even not his subordinates, not his associates, the team members, not his seniors also. He is the only person. And can you imagine that if you have to dependent on one person for requirement gathering, and if he is not available on the day, then you could, as a functional consultant, you can imagine that situation, correct?
Right, right.
My end user is not available, and I have to close my tickets. Somehow I have to close my BRD, but unfortunately he's not there. Everything will get to the stake, and we have in, and on top of that, the situation was near after the COVID situation, and he was again, because work from home mode is still on nowadays, is still on, and sometimes, most of the times, he used to work from home, and we are waiting for him that he will come into the office and he will update the requirement, and then we will start working on the development also. But he never shows up, and finally he leave the organization. Because of one person, entire project will get into the dustbin, because of the one person.
Oh, yeah.
And so lost the amount. The company had invested such amount with a certain hope that we can implement a new technology. We are going to implement a new technology, but because of that one person, everything will get into the toss. Entire team was wiped out, entire project was wiped out. No, and after that, lots of things had happened. But so knowledge is completely reserved by one person. That could not be the scenario. That's why SAP had decided, one of the reason, knowledge should be available into the system rather than dependent on the humans, rather than dependent on the paper base, rather than dependent on the human minds. Those business rules should be available into the, at the end of the day, business should work. At the system will work, not humans will work. At the end of the day, same business rules will get implemented into the business, into the software. Those software is responsible for working, not humans are responsible for the working. They have to generate the audit reports. Humans will not generate the audit reports. So business rules should be available into the software, not into the human minds. So it could be the interdependent of any human being. Same rule, you can execute the same rule. I can execute the same rule. Even I have no idea, you have idea about that. So business will work without any dependency of the human intervention.
So you're saying with the help for BRF, for the end users can download the business rules or access the business rules?
For BRF?
Yes.
Can you please come up again?
No, you're saying everybody should have access to the business rules, right? So in BRF, the end users can access the business rules?
Yes.
Okay.
These BRF Plus are especially designed for end users.
Okay.
So they can directly execute their business process. They can run time, they can change the transaction, they can change the data, they can work upon the new policies, they can insert new rules, they can edit the rules, and the business process will continuously, it will work without any failures.
Okay. Suppose, like, for example, any change in the business rule, usually the end users or the business submits a ticket and we do the configuration, then move to production.
Correct.
So with this, the business rules, they can automatically, if they want to change, they can automatically update the business rule or the validation in the BRF, right?
Yes, and then directly into the production system. No need to depend on the development, quality, then quality validation, all the technical documentation. Then it will UAT, and then it will move to the production. No need to wait on that. Directly they can change into the production system.
Okay.
So it will increase the efficiency of the process and delivery, right?
Right.
Okay. This is the backend architecture of BRF Plus. How your BRF will get actually These are the technical objects. How your BRF will work. So as an end user, we, or you can say the functional consultant or technical consultants, we have to work upon this front end part. We will create our decision tables. We'll create our decision trees. We can create our formula, and we will get the expected results. But what exactly happens into the background? Our rule processors will work. This is the main part, which is the rule processor, which is the backend of the BRF Plus application, all the BRF Plus applications. Okay, those rule processor will accept, like, let's say this is one of the expression, will accept values from this decision table and return the value in form of the output. Okay, same goes for the decision tree. It will receive values from one of the tree item, and it will return the item from the rule processor will return the output of the another item. Same goes for the formulas. Same goes for another expression as well. The best thing is, apart from these things, couple of other objects also that we can work upon. We can trace our all the steps. Unlike that in our traditional our ERP system, for tracking all the piece of code, we have to debug the system. Correct? We have to debug the code. That's the only option.
Yes.
Either you debug or you will get the out. So in BRF Plus application, we don't need to debug. The only trace and simulation mode is there. Just click on that and it will generate the same step-by-step for you. The debug steps, already steps are debugged, so you can easily identify this is the particular set of piece of code that this application, this corner of my application is not working. So no need. So as an end, why they have provided this trace and simulation option? Because end user don't understand SAP BRF code, correct? And functional consultants are also not capable that they can debug the code. So what could be the feasible scenario? If only one person, ABAPer, is able to debug the code, and some business user had to understand that part. So what could be the scenario? The simulation and trace part. Simple, easy English steps. So they had provided these English steps. Okay, this is the pain area that if I change this value, then my business rule will work. Excel import and export. You can download your rules. You can upload your rules in form of decision trees, most probably in base of the decision tables. You can download this table, you can change the value, and you can upload this table into the system. No need to go to the IT team and ask them to make changes, ask them to the program based hard coding values, and then you need to come worked upon. What best features are downloading and uploading the objects, tracing and simulation. Another one is code generation. This is the best feature you have ever seen in any ABAP object. This BRF Plus application, once you create your BRF Plus application, it will generate ABAP piece of code for you automatically. There is a feature, code generation. Once your BRF Plus application is activated, you can go to the trace and simulation, and before going for trace and simulation, one option is also there, code generation. So what would happen? You can directly click on code generation. It will generate a pop-up, the same like pop-up window. Tomorrow we'll see that. Our next sessions we will see that how we can leverage that functionality.
Okay.
It will generate a ABAP, ready-made ABAP code for you. And same piece of code you can copy paste. You can copy from there. You can paste that ABAP piece of code in your HCM class, HCM functional reports, HCM workflow administrators. You just have to pass the BRF function module name, your input parameters, and you will get the output parameters. And what would happen? The system generated code that you had copy paste from this application, Just whenever you try to run that functional module from that piece of code that you have pasted down in another application, it will directly call the BRF Plus application into the backend, and it will execute same applications for you. Even just you have to copy paste that part. It's actually when we are passing the function module name, it is establishing a connection between your BRF Plus and your custom piece of code. So from with the help of function module name, the system generated FM name, you are calling that function module of the BRF Plus application, and we are getting the data from the BRF Plus directly. So it's like that. In my custom code, I'm calling the application rather than my class, rather than my simple SE37 function module. I'm calling BRF Plus function module. So your rule engine is directly integrated with your ABAP code, and you don't have to write a piece of code also. 95%, 97% code is ready. Only 5% is assign the function name, assign inputs, and receive the outputs. That's it. Okay. This is the best feature into the BRF Plus application. Decision trees based on 2 values. You are expecting third value. Are you getting my point? If number of products greater than 5 and number of delayed pay is less than value 15. So what we had given? We had given 2 inputs, number of products and number of delayed payment. So system will provide me the intermediate value, which is 500. Number of leaves of an application. Number of leaves are available 25. Number of leaves already availed 24. What could be the intermediate value? 1. Correct?
Yes.
So that's how your decision table will work. Based on more than 1 inputs, we are expecting some output. No need to write any logic. No need to write any code. Directly mention the values and you will get the desired output. That's how our decision tables will work. And decision table is one of the most usable object in BRF Plus. Let's if I say in tax calculation, if you remember in 2017, 1st of July, Indian government had implemented GST. They had rolled out GST in the entire nation. It's a federal tax, national level tax. So since then, even today also, they had come up with HSN code and SSC codes. HSN codes and HSN codes are for manufacturing industry, SSC codes for service-based industry. So based on HSN, they are deciding the tax rates. Now, eventually, they are changing the rate percentages of rates, percentages of HSN codes. Different HSN code had different rates. Still, they are going to change. In future, they are also planning to change the HSN codes or the respective percentages. So what would be the scenario? Imagine that your end user on daily basis, your end user is coming to you. I need to change the tax rate. I need to change the tax slab of this product. Today I have to change this one. Next day I have to change this one. Correct? So you will also get fed up. Yeah, why is coming? At least you will ask your ABAPer, at least create a TMG for him. Correct?
Yes.
So if instead of creating a TMG, I'll provide one application. So he can maintain their HSN codes, he can maintain their percentages, he can maintain their IGST, CGST, SGST condition, and he can play around with that. So he can work upon that. And same BRF application will get implemented or used by all the another users also.
Okay.
So we are driving a single rule from single person to all the architecture of the system. In real time, this is the these are the images on how we can create our decision table. We can import data from Excel file. We can export the data. We can create new entries. Changing the logic, yes.
So import from Excel, so you're saying they can directly do in production?
Yes, directly to the production.
Okay.
So before importing that, first you have to export to the Excel. So first you export means you will get the columns, correct? You will get the which data is already available into the system. Now you got the Excel. Let's say in Excel you will get the 10 items. Item number 6 and 7 you want to change. You can change the items. 50 more entries you want to insert in Excel, you will create 50 more entries. Now you can import your Excel. So this is the best feature, that first export, make the changes, then import the file.
So these changes will impact, I mean, a big time, right? So in case if the business doesn't want somebody to maintain in production, can it go through a transportable path from dev to prod, right? Dev to Q to prod?
That is also possible. Both features are possible.
Okay.
Yes. So with our CMS mechanism, CTS mechanism, so we can move our customizing TRs, same like TMG. We can provide that customizing TR. Changes will store there, and then we will move to the production system.
Okay.
Yes. Rules can be implemented. Yes. Changing rules and logic. We can implement a certain rules for the certain field also. However, your decision table will come into the rule again also, but again at the child level also you can implement another rules as well. Okay. It's just an example that how you can export data to Excel. This is how you would calculator, your formula generation. If you remember this, these all the symbols are inherited from the calculator, which is manual calculator that we used to use in our daily life, like AND condition, or not, if condition, string. And if you have the formula, so I don't think so anyone will get hesitated to create your output formula, right? So anyone can use this. Ready-made buttons are there. You just have to insert your variables, input, just give you an inputs like variable 1, use star means multiply, variable 2 is equal to variable 3. So you will get the ready-made formula and you can directly execute that. Correct? Okay. Yes. So strings, if you have to play with string, then formula for string is available. If you have to play with unit, then unit is there. If you have to play with some Boolean expression or comments, then that is also available. So most of the calculative functions are predefined functions are available into the system. Okay. Rule sets. Now the same thing we had discussed. If, else, again else, if, then, else, else, if. It could be the combination of anything. It could be if or and if, else, and if, else, if, else, and if, else, else, and if, else, and if. So 5, 6 basic, these are the basic 5, 6 if and if conditions, but it could be a combination of anything. If plus 1000 and if, else if, plus the last would be the and if condition. Correct? Yes. So based upon our requirement, we can add the if and if conditions, and there is no limitation. How your BRF Plus, when we, as a technical person or functional person, when you create your BRF Plus application, so this is the architecture that we need to follow. We have to start with application. An application system will generate a function for you. In create, assign context and result. Context and result means in context is equal to input, result is equal to output. Okay. Function, it's a function which has input parameters and output parameters. Context as input, result as output. create and assign rule sets. Rule set is the combination of multiple rules. So as you can imagine that in a bucket, I am putting all the balls with red color, green, yellow, white. So in rule sets, I am providing all the rules, business rules, technical rules, authorization rules, or my tax rules, my management rules, my authorization rules, or you can the approval rules I have assigned into a single rule set. Correct? It could be the combination of multiple rule sets also. Again, depend on how I am leveraging that application, how complex I am about to develop. Correct?
Yes.
So create and assign expressions. Expression means our exact decision tables or your formula or your that decision trees and etc. Based on that, we are taking the actions. We are getting the outputs. Then you just need to activate your object, simulate, and implement function call. Implement means where you want to call this function call. And what was the function? The function that we had created at the top level. So unlike another ABAP object, create one function module, assign internal input parameters, assign output parameters, create select query, assign some select query, and based on some select query and if and else if conditions, we are generating our output. Finally, check, activate, run the function module. Same like any other ABAP object. Only thing is, it's not coding based, it's graphical based, GUI based. We don't need to write any code. We have to just create the objects based on the graphical interface. Modes of operations we'll discuss tomorrow. How the modes of operations will can you just a highlight? Can you see these numbers?
Yes.
These are the, let's say, the values that we are passing to the internal value, IV_ID set value. We are providing the inputs, and to whom we are providing the inputs? The function that get function, and this is the number generated provided by the BRF. This is a random number series. This is the function, BRF function. To this BRF function, I am providing my inputs. Let's say for this customer ID, SAP ID value, ball pen, for this ID, sales 10, for this ID value 10. The shelf price, promotion, item, and customer. These values I'm providing to the input. And in function, result, what I'm expecting, get value, ES value, LV string. Function, input, output. That's it. The only thing. And these are the system generated code. Only what I have to assign my input value and what I have to read my output value. And this is system generated code.
Okay. So once you create the rule or the function in the BRF, automatically this the BRF generates this code and the program can be used in anywhere else.
Anywhere in SAP ABAP.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Got it.
Okay.
Good.
So on that note, I think we are taking it's quite heavy session for the day one, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No problem. So from tomorrow onwards, we will do the mixed part, the theoretical part, as well as the system application, the exact the workbench part also, the technical object. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll do the mixed session. Theory would be the less, more could be the how to start application, how to develop the application onto the workbench, how to leverage the functionality of that BRF Plus application. Okay. And one more thing I'll do for tomorrow, I try to capture a couple of examples for you. I'll try to gather, especially because you have highlighted that especially related to the HCM module. Okay. So I'll try to manage some of the best examples for you. What could be the scenario and what could I think the best ones for you? So we will start working on those applications.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Apart from the standard applications, standards are always there.
Okay.
Apart from that, we'll discuss how you can develop your own custom application specific to
Mhm.
HCM module, and you
Okay.
can leverage those applications anywhere in SAP ABAP.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay.
On that note, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
We'll
thank you
connect
so much.
tomorrow, same time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Shreej.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.